Hi, Dr. Leslie Phillips here from the School of Intuition. Welcome to the second video in the series Awaken Your Intuition. I hope you enjoyed the first video where I shared some hints and tricks about how to access your intuition and helped you apply it to one of life's most pressing questions: what is my purpose? Well, today I'm going to share some more ways of accessing your intuition, and we're going to apply it to a different life question. I've been helping people access intuitive information for over 20 years. And in that time, people have asked me a lot of questions. And apart from life purpose, the second most popular question is about relationships. People are always asking me, who is my soulmate? When will I meet my husband? Who is the right partner for me? Should I stay in my current relationship or should I leave? Will my relationship get any better? Why am I alone? And of course, relationships are really important to us. It's a basic human need to have companionship, to have someone else accompany us on our life journey and offer us support. And so I'm sure if you look back on your own life, you will see how at different times you've had different relationship challenges. And maybe even right now, you have some questions about your relationships. So that's what we're going to focus on today. I'm going to help you to access intuitive information about your relationships. But before we move on to that, I just want to reassure you that, I've taught thousands of people how to access their intuition. And I haven't met a single person who was not able to learn to access their intuition. So I am completely confident that this is possible for you to do. Completely confident that you can learn how to access your intuition. In fact, it's your birthright as a human being. We all have intuition, and we all can learn how to access it. Now, let me share a little bit of my own story again. My biggest challenge around relationships has been fear of loneliness. In fact, when I was in my late teens and all through my 20s, I was single. All my friends were in relationships. They all had boyfriends and girlfriends, and I was the only one who was alone. And I desperately wanted a relationship. And I was really unhappy that I didn't have one. And I couldn't understand why. And I thought there must be something terribly wrong with me to be so abnormal as to be single. Maybe I was unattractive. Maybe I wasn't pretty. Maybe there was something horribly wrong with my personality. I was pretty self-conscious, and maybe that was putting people off. And so, I struggled to come up with why. Why am I alone? And what can I do to change myself, to make myself more pleasing so that somebody might fancy me? And, as I continued through my life journey, and as you know, my life journey, I focused on consciously on my spiritual involvement. And so as I learned to meditate and as I learned to access my intuition, I got to know myself better. I got to know who I was. I got to see myself clearly so that I could see that all of that unworthiness was not who I was. That was lies that I was telling myself. That I was an eternal being of love and light, an eternal consciousness, a spark of divine love. And as I learned how to tune into that inner, deeper aspect of myself, I learned to love myself and I learned to appreciate myself. And the more I learned to love and appreciate myself, the more I was able to dissolve and let go of the unworthiness. And the more I did that, the more magnetic and attractive I became. And so I shifted inside, and my external circumstances shifted as well. And I'm sure you resonate with my story and you recognize some of it within yourselves, because, of course, self-worth issues are one of the main things that we all struggle with. And it's one of the main blocks to us manifesting the loving, supportive relationships that we want. So think about it. If you are constantly focused on what's wrong with me, if you are always judging yourself, criticizing yourself, measuring up to be less than perfect and less than desirable, well, you're all familiar with the law of attraction by now, aren't you? And so what happens is what you put out is what comes back. So if you're not loving yourself and if you're judging yourself, then the universe will bring some circumstances your way to help emphasize and prove that even more to you. So the good news is that you can become self-aware, that you can develop your intuition and see yourself clearly. And in seeing yourself clearly, you can see the lies that you feed yourself, just like I did, and you can dissolve them. And as you dissolve them, you will increase your point of attraction to more loving relationships. So we're going to do an exercise on that now, an exercise to help you see yourself more clearly. So what I want to invite you to do to begin with is just close your eyes and to think about what's up in the realm of relationships for you right now. Have you got some challenges right now in some of the relationships that you've got? Have you got some struggles going on, some problems that you're wanting to solve? Or did you really resonate with my story and you feel alone, but you wish that you had a relationship? So just bring it all up. Bring it all up, focus on it. And then I want you to be aware of, where did my focus and attention go just then? And see, did it go to your emotional levels? Did you start to be emotionally triggered? Did you start to feel into different vibrations about the problem? Or did you go into your analytical, logical mind and start weighing up the pros and cons of different choices that you have? Or maybe you went into the past to go over something that that you've been trying to figure out, or into the future, into some desired thing that you want to create. Either way, you were not seeing your reality right here, right now, as it truly is. If you went into your emotional or intellectual levels, then you were going into your body levels and you were not seeing your life from a spiritual perspective. So I want to show you now how to see yourself and your life from a spiritual perspective, from the clear light of consciousness that is truly you. And the way to do it is to focus your consciousness in another energy center. And this one you will have heard of is your third eye. Where is your third eye? Your third eye is in the center of your head. And so I want you to focus your conscious awareness right now. Close your eyes, focus your conscious awareness in the center of your head. And when I say center of your head, I don't mean center of your forehead. I mean right in the very center of your skull, where your pineal gland is. So get yourself situated there. and start to notice what it feels like to be here. You might experience a bright light when you sit in the center of your head. If you do, that's the clear light of consciousness. It's you. You're experiencing yourself. That's who you are. Your light, your consciousness, your love, your eternal. How great is that? And of course, from this perspective of the light that you are, it's kind of pretty impossible from this vantage point to judge, criticize, or sink into the depths of unworthiness. So from this vantage point, start to look at all the stuff that you were thinking of before you went into the center of your head. And notice how it's easier to be neutral from this perspective, from this vantage point. Notice how it's easy to separate yourself from the lies that you tell yourself or that other people tell you about yourself. And then just open your heart again and just shine the light of your consciousness and shine the love that you are into all the corners of your life. And dissolve those lies, dissolve the unworthiness, let it go. Be the love and light that you are. And then whenever you're ready, of course, you can open your eyes again. And I truly hope that you found that valuable. And if you did, please share your comments below. Share your experience that you had with that exercise. We'd love to hear about it. And if you haven't done the quiz yet about what is your main intuition style, then I also encourage you to click on the link and download the quiz. And then you can come back and tell us which one you were. We'd love to know. And then finally, I can't wait for the next in this series on Awaken Your Intuition, because it's going to be a live teaching. We're going to spend more time together, and we're going to go in much more depth into your intuition. And I'm going to invite you to make an even bigger commitment to yourself in your spiritual awakening. So I really hope to see you then. And by the way, I'll be there live to answer your questions. So you can answer all of you can ask all your burning questions about life and about intuition. So I will see you then.